guys, and welcome back to another episode of Con Aneyda. Today I'm so excited because I have owner and director of AC15 choreography, Alfredo Castro.
Yes. Hi guys.
Guys, I'm so excited to have Alfredo here because we actually have a long history of knowing each other. I'm gonna expose him a little bit. So the way Alfredo and I know each other is back then, way back then, I was on the Paramount High School song team. And there used to be a little boy, because he was young,
really tiny boy,
who would be there, and I think he stalked us. Did you stalk us?
You know what? I just wanted to be like y'all. You know, like I just wanted to be like you guys. You know, because I really looked up to them, and
He wanted to look up.
Yeah, no, I had like this obsession with like I want to be a dancer, you know, and they were the dancers, so I was like, I want to be like them. I want to be their friends, you know, because I have no friends.
But it was scary because he would come up to me and be like, "Hi, Aneyda," and I was like, looking at him, and I was like, who is this?
Is this little 8th grader, like...
How does he know my name?
What's this little freshie doing here?
And I was like, but now look at him.
Now she invited me back.
Now I said, you stalked me, and I welcomed you into my home.
Oh, so sweet.
But
no,
also,
literally.
he is really good friends with my sister, Jalissa. Shout out, Jalissa. She's working right now. But it is amazing to see his journey. Honestly, I used to watch his videos because he would always post them, and he's a self-taught dancer. And I think that's a huge thing because it's one thing teaching yourself something without having like the guidance and just like learning from someone else from like YouTube videos or like even like watching someone dance. Because I hope he wasn't watching me when I was dancing because I was the worst one on that team. But I hope, obviously he didn't because look at where he's at. But it's really hard, and I always condemn him for that because just all the technique and wise and everything. Obviously, he wanted to go get professional help and so forth, but the self-taught part is huge. And that's why we're here to talk about not only his dance journey, but his business career because he is a young business owner, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Let's get into it. So, Alfredo, what started your dance journey? What like drove you into dancing?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Aneyda. I really appreciate it. Thank you, back camera crew. I really appreciate you guys.
Maciela, shout out to Maciela.
Honestly, what drove me to dance was I would watch a lot of like dance mom videos, and I would just be like, I want to be like that. And then also, I feel like growing up and like when you're a middle schooler, you're like, and that's kind of what like pushed me to like want to learn to dance like that. And then also like when I was an 8th grader, it was always like the high school talk, like, oh, we're gonna go to high school, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I want to dance in high school, but I was on the cheer team at the same time, so I was like, okay, I want to do something bigger, I want to do something that's not cheer, because I don't want to be cheering, I didn't want to be like, go Packers. Sorry, but no, I didn't. You know?
I love cheer. But wait, serious question, who's your favorite on Dance Moms?
You know what, at first I used to be Maddie, of course, but then I switched over to Kendall. And then I wanted to switch over to Kalani, and then I switched over to Nia, and then I kind of just went all over the place.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone. But you know
what?
I
always loved Chloe. My girl Chloe.
I had a big crush on Kendall at that time. I almost went to go see her at the Universal Hollywood thing.
Nah, yeah. Kendall. Team Chloe forever.
No, Kendall. Kendall's so underrated.
That poor girl was dragged.
Oh my god. Actually, where did I see her the other day?
Oh?
I don't know where I saw her. I don't know. I actually don't know where I saw her, but I saw her, and her mom does a podcast too now. Yeah, her mom has that YouTube podcast. Hey. But yeah, so dance moms, and then honestly, also what kind of drove me to dance was like I would always see a lot of dance videos on my feed, and I would just be like, I want to do that, you know, I want to do that. And then I just started recording myself, like, okay, well, like set my phone down, play music, and kind of just dance. And I feel like that's how I gained the confidence to do it. Did I have pretty technique? Did I know what I was doing? Hell no. But I was kind of just like, okay, like just do it. And then I feel like that's when I kind of told my parents I wanted to dance, and then they were like, no, too expensive. Why are we gonna waste so much money on dance? Why are we gonna pay this? Like stuff like that. So I kind of just started dancing at my house, sending videos to like dance studios, like, look, I can dance. And I think that's the most embarrassing thing ever.
No, I didn't know you did that, but that's so cool. Yeah. You did that.
I would record myself and then send it to a random studio and be like, what do you think? And they'd be like, oh my god, you're so good, like Come join our studio.
This is something new. I didn't know. I knew he posted his videos because Jalissa would always tell us, go like my friend's video. Yeah. And then we were like, and I was like, you get it. But, I mean, Alfredo has this quote that I love because he has it everywhere. And I think that even ties in with what he just said. And I don't want to, like, I know it's el que quiere, puede.
Yeah.
And that is true because if you really want something, you should go after and get it.
Exactly, yeah.
I did not know he was hustling and sending studios videos.
I was like 12 years old. And then now that I look back at it, and I find my old videos because I can't delete that YouTube account anymore. It's just there.
I will link it. It's
embarrassing.
No.
And I look at it and I'm just like, what the heck? But then honestly, then I look back and I'm like, wow, like I really put myself out there, like not caring what people would say in order for me to like get what I wanted, you know? And then, well, fast forward, I did end up dancing at a studio during high school, and then I moved over to a different, more advanced studio in the city of the county of OC, and I feel like that's what did it for me, like, the transition from, like, okay, you grew up here, but, like, now you have to move on forward and kind of just think about yourself and kind of put yourself first and really think about your drive and your passion and what it is you really want to do. I feel like that's really important because I feel like a lot of people kind of get lost in what they're doing if they do it for too long. They kind of just say like, oh, well, like, it's not a passion no more. Or if it's a passion, I always say, like, what are you doing to keep wanting to go bigger, you know, instead of just kind of like staying on the same route, you know?
I think it's kind of hard too because like you feel comfortable in something and then you're kind of scared to take that huge leap. And I always tie that in with this because I was like, I studied communications. I've always loved watching podcasts, interviews. Like I love seeing that. And people would always tell me, why don't you do one? And I'm like, oh, guys, like, it's kind of like...
And you know what? It's also like taking just that leap and just being like, okay, I'm going to do it. What I've always said, like with my dance videos, now that I think about it, is like, well, I would just post them just because I wanted to post them. Like, I didn't care if people would watch them or like them, whatever. But, you know, I've always said, like, honestly, you just got to post because at the end of the day, people aren't always going to like you, but they're always going to watch you. So it ties into the same thing as Instagram. Like, on Instagram, you post something, and let's say you don't get the 10,000 likes that you want, but people saw what you posted, and people are going to know that, you know? So at the end of the day, it's kind of just, like, putting yourself out there and being like, well, this is what I like to do. And you don't have to like me, but I know you're still watching me, you know? And that's kind of like what kind of builds you up at the end of the day, you know?
Because even though like Alfredo didn't have his business back then, everybody knew him. I don't know if everybody in the city of Paramount knew him, but like everybody in Paramount knew that he would post his videos. And I was like, yeah, that's my sister's friend. He's posting them. And at that studio, I also would help him out. I'd be like, this boy one time almost kicked me. I was trying to do I was little old me helping this boy do an aerial.
I remember.
But it's amazing to see like his dance journey and everything. What is your favorite type of dance style?
You know what's so funny? I grew up so lyrical. and so lyrical was my thing. And now I enjoy lyrical now, but I got so much into hip hop, and I love hip hop because now when you think of hip hop and lyrical together, it creates contemporary, and then that is amazing. Like, honestly, I kind of just say that, like, it kind of just depends on what vibe I'm at and what I'm feeling, because I really like the lyrical, but I really like the party hip-hop aspect. But then when you combine both, it's like, you can create magic. Ooh. So I'm a little bit everywhere with all of that.
Everyone at home is like, what is
contemporary? Like, what is that? So contemporary is a little bit more like pop lock, and, you know, I'll demonstrate it.
He kicks it. I love tap. There's some people who do not love tap. I live for it. I can't tap.
You know what? I got back into tap 2 years ago because I started teaching tap. And when I got back into it, I was like, this is actually really enjoyable.
No,
it's really fun.
I love to see when those girls are tap, 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 tap.
I'm
like, hello. Again. I love to see when those girls are tap, and the boys, and I love it.
And you know what's so crazy? Nowadays, because dance has evolved so much, there's so much different types of tap. Like, we have, like, the little, like, shuffle ball chain, shuffle hop step, you know?
Everybody's like,
and then now there's, like, the intricate tap where like acapella is so popular now, so I think it's so cool to see dance evolve. Like choreographers, you know what I will say, I feel like the generation now kind of makes dance evolve to what it is now
because they want to try like different
and they want to like apply they want to apply different stuff in it.
And that is true. I'm like,
in my podcast,
I'm like, good. No, but it is true because we get from the previous generations and then we add it to our. But dance is always evolving because I've been seeing everyone. I see his posts, I see other people's posts, and I'm like, dang. Me, no. In my dance routines, I was like a little cockroach on the floor kicking my legs. I couldn't do anything. I was just everyone who was on the team with me can admit that I was only there because of my facials. A girl couldn't do nothing. But I love a good facial.
Yeah.
When I see routines and I don't see a facial, you could have been doing 10 turns.
And you know what's so crazy?
And I'm going to look at it.
Nowadays, a lot of dancers are afraid to do facials because we live in a, like I feel like our generation is so insecure now. And, like, they're so scared of, like, how they look. And, like, that's what they think about. They don't think about, like, the actual talent or, like, what I can portray. It's kind of just like, oh, I'm going to look funny if I do that facial. Or I'm going to look funny if I do something like that, you know?
No.
And I feel like that kind of takes the whole, like...
Marcela's, like, nodding her head in the back.
She's like, yep, I agree. Yeah,
you guys don't do a little A-E-I-O-U anymore?
Exactly. Like the kissy face, you do the kissy face, and then they think that you're too coquette, or you think you're too like creída or something, you know. And I think that's what kind of sucks, because it's hard to teach our generation nowadays, like obviously like the fundamentals of dance, but also like how to be confident in performing what the song means and like the meanings of it, you know. So
Alfredo's a really good dancer, guys. Even just not only technique wise, but also like I'm not saying this because he's sitting next to me, but I'm saying this because even like I would watch him and I was like, this kid really loves what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing you can have the passion and not have the talent, and then you can have both.
Yeah.
And I don't like that phrase. You can have the passion and not the talent, because you can always work hard on
something.
something.
For the talent. Yeah.
Yeah, you can always work like 10 times harder every day. Not to be cheesy, but like that whole Mamba mentality. Like if you have it, you can accomplish anything. Or one of my favorite lines is, you can fake it till you make it. And I faked it till I made it on that team.
100%. I live by that, because at the end of the day, it goes back to confidence. If you have the confidence in order to be standing there doing something, it's like the confidence is going to get you so far out. You know, like at the end of the day, you just got to believe in yourself and not care what people say.
And you all should listen to him, because he owns a dance studio. And we're going to get into that right now, because it is crazy how you even transitioned from his home, his backyard, right? Did you start at people's homes first, or was it your home?
So you know what? Well, okay, so I teach quinceañeras now. That's how AC-15 choreography came to play. And the reason why AC-15 started was because my parents were not going to pay dance fees. So I was like, okay, I'll start working somehow in order to pay my dance fees. So I was a freshman in high school, and all my friends were turning 15. And I was like, okay, I'll teach her quince, I'll do it, sure, why not? And then I got money from there, and I applied that into the dance studio for training. And then I would go to people's houses. I would charge them like $50, $100. Like, yeah, it's fine. I just need to pay my private. It's fine, whatever.
It's like, this will cover like 10
Yes, exactly. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I would go to people's houses, and then when I started getting like really overbooked, I was like, well, I can't travel as much. And also I wasn't driving. I was 14. So my mom was like, I can't take you to LA to OC to this to that, you know. So that's when I was like, okay, then like I'll just have people come to me, you know, like I can schedule people.
He started from his home, and I remember because he would even post it too, and he had a little banner. I remember the banner.
My black banner,
black banner. I close my eyes and I see that banner, and he would do that, and I was like, that's really cool, because I choreographed Marcela's quinceañera, and I did not want to do that. I was pushed into it. I had no choice. My mother told me,
like, you gotta do it.
And then I also choreographed her friend's quinceañera, which was also like 10 times harder, because it's one thing to teach your sisters and your cousins who you can yell at. But doing that, I give this kid credit, because at 14, teaching other 14-year-olds, it's hard, because I was 25 teaching 14-year-olds, and I wanted to go crazy.
And I think that's where I kind of struggle. Like I always say, like in every interview that I do, I always say the people I really like to thank is my clients when I was 14, 15, and 16, because they're the ones that like put their whole trust on me. And honestly, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't be where I am now, because they're the ones that kind of like lifted me up at some point and kind of just said, okay, we're gonna trust this 14-year-old. Like, we're hiring someone that's the same age as my daughter to choreograph a quince. Like,
do you remember your first quince that you choreographed?
Yes, my first ever quince. Her name was Monica. Her name was Monica, and it was at her house, and it was just her and her main chamalan, and they told me a week before her quince, like, oh, can we grab something? I was like, yeah, sure. Remember all week I went to her house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember that one, and then I kind of just built up from there at my house. It did get to a point where my parents' safety became an issue, and my family safety became an issue, because we were growing so much on social media, and I was like, I can't keep posting my house where everyone knows where I live. And you know that damn flower shop that where all apparel would be at? So that's when people started figuring out, like, oh, like that's the kid's house, like that's where they teach quinces, you know? Yeah, like it got really bad, and that's when I kind of told my parents, like, hey, like I can't keep doing this no more. And then they're like, yeah, like we understand, but also you're too young, like what are you gonna do, like where are you gonna go work? And that's when I looked into like studio rentals and everything. But then something in me wanted something bigger. I was like, no, like I don't want to rent someone's studio and just go in there and call it mine. Like I want to like have my own studio. And I was like 18 at this time, and I was like, I'm gonna open up my own dance studio. And they're like, no, you're not. Like it's too much money. How are you gonna sign a lease? You're 18, it's too much rent. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Like I really want to do it. And I can confirm that I didn't have their reassurance or like the support at that time, because I was like, well, if you don't want to believe in me, like I'll just do my own thing, you know. So yeah, I remember calling the place, and I was like, how much is it? And they're like,
how much do I have to put
down?
Yes,
exactly. And I didn't know what I was saying, and they're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, your place says for rent. How much is it? Like, how much can I rent it for? And then they're like, oh, you have to do a whole lease. I'm like, oh, what is that?
What is a lease?
Yeah.
I think that's also something like we can talk about, that a lot of like Latino parents find it, like, if you tell, like, I brought this up and my parents were like, yeah, sure, like, go do your little hobby. Go do your little hobby. Yeah. And whatever, as long as no one bothers us when they come in. Yeah. But I think deep down they do have that support for us. Yes. I just don't think they know how to show it. Yeah. And you know what, that is so true. I can confirm that because for me, like, with dancing, like, my mom was always like, yeah, I'll take you, all this and that. My dad was kind of just like, all right, well, like, let me know when you win something, like, type of vibe, you know? And then I remember the day I won first place in Vegas Nationals. I remember 2019. I remember that memory so good. My dad calls me. He was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, you're actually really talented. Like, now I see it. You're and, like, actually not very talented.
Yeah, it's crazy that, like, I had to go through all of this and then have that one moment where I proved to them, I'm like, guys, like, I know what I'm doing. Like, I'm actually good, you know?
Because I think for me, like, and Maciela can attest. Maciela's my sister. She's in the back. I think I mentioned it, like, 5 times.
She's working really hard back there.
Like, I, in my family, like, randomly go to everybody and go, how do you feel today? Like, like, any event, I'm always like, and what are we doing today? Like, what are we celebrating? Like, I've always been, like, that person to go ask, like, I don't know, it just intrigues me to be like, so what, even my friends have, like, hey, guys, we're outside and we're doing this. Like, I've always loved that. And my dad, finally, like, I think after he saw the second episode and he saw that I was putting work, he's like, maybe you should invite this person and maybe you should do this. Yeah. And then my dad's like, you need to post more. Yeah. You need to do, and I look at him and I was like,
yeah, like, you literally just didn't tell me this.
You didn't tell me this, like, months. So I think, obviously, your parents are beyond proud.
Like, I feel it now, I feel it now.
Because it is kind of scary to, like, your child going out there and doing something, especially at 18 in the way he was moving so quickly. I remember I would see, like, posts, he was in New York. I was like, what are you doing in New York?
Exactly. I was in New York at like 17, 18 with like my friend who was like 30, and then my parents were like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine, like, I'm just dancing. Yeah, I remember all of that. And then like, I feel like now, like, my parents look at me, they're still the same way, but I already know like the strategy. Like, I'll say something and then they'll be like, okay, well, like, good luck, like, you know, do it,
just
you
let
know?
Us know when you win
yeah,
something.
just let us know when you're doing good. But then they're so observant that, like, they'll see like, oh, like, I know they talk, they're like, oh, Alfredo's actually like doing this, like, oh wow, like, I didn't think he was gonna do it, but like, that's really good.
I think it's like a reverse psychology that they like to do on us, where they tell us go ahead and they don't care, and then we're like, no, I'm gonna show you that I'm gonna do it.
But you know what, that motivates me a lot more to want to do it, not to prove them wrong, but to like show them like, yo me propuse esto, I really want to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I'm not the type of person that I'm going to be like, oh, my parents never supported me, I'm not going to treat you guys like whatever. No, I'm like, look, y'all didn't believe in me fully. I did it. Now I want to give back to you so then you can know exactly how I went through it and everything, you know? No, so I love my parents. Like, I'm so thankful that, like, in a way they didn't support me as much when I was little, because now I think that's what, like, drove me to, like, really push myself to do everything, you know?
Yeah, I think obviously, but we love our parents.
I love my parents. I love my parents, yes.
So
shout out to Estelita.
So your studio, AC15, obviously your initials, AC15. You have now opened another studio?
Yeah. So, fun fact, AC15 Choreography was not supposed to be the name of the studio. It was actually supposed to be AC Choreographies. And at some point I wanted to be AC Dance Studio, but no, AC Dance Company, but then the initials would have been ACDC, and that's a band.
No, who am I wearing right now? Yeah, I am wearing.
Is that them?
Yeah.
AC/DC?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Whoa.
Anyways, she planned it. Well, my studio was supposed to be called Alfredo Castro's Dance Company, but then I thought about the initials AC/DC, and I was like, no, like the trademark, I want to have my own thing. Yeah. I was like, no, thank you. So then we came up with AC15 Choreography, and in Spanish, do you know how to read AC15 Choreography in Spanish?
What do you mean?
Like, say AC15 Choreography in Spanish.
Like the initials?
Yeah, like, say the whole thing in Spanish.
I was like, that's ACD. No, wait.
ACD. AC15 Choreography.
AC15?
And anyways.
I was like, what does he want me to say?
It's AC15 Coreografía. So, when you say fast, AC15 Coreografía. Él hace 15 coreografía. Like, I do, yeah, do you get that? Anyways, so.
I was like, I didn't know I was supposed to get a message.
So, like, pop quiz?
I was like, hace 15. What do you want me to say?
Yeah, so that name,
okay.
And I only found out of that name because one time I was on a call with the client who spoke Spanish, and I was like, oh, buenos días, hace 15 coreografía, ¿cómo le podemos ayudar? And I was like, wait, It's like, that's actually really dope. So it kind of just happened to be, what was the question?
He got too into.
I got too into my name.
Yeah. Your new studio.
Yes.
Because it is new, right?
Yes. Okay. New. So I opened up my first studio 2018. It was just one big room, and within that room I had classes, I had my office, restroom, everything was in that room. And then a few months ago, like in November, my neighbors left, and that was like my sign to like, you either move now, expand now, or you wait another 3 years and you figure out where you go. So it was again a really hard decision with my parents, because I was like, guys, like my neighbors left, like if I want to move, I have a month. And it was and it was Christmas time. It was the whole month of December. I was going to San Fran for work. Like I was gonna be gone for 2 weeks. So like if we wanted to do the move, it had to be like within 2 weeks. And I told my parents, and they're like, "You're crazy. No, it's fine. You're fine where you are. You're fine." And then rent is so expensive out here. Rent is so expensive.
It is really expensive.
And then a lot of things that I feel like a lot of non-business owners don't know is like, we have to pay so much. We pay rent, insurance, liabilities, utilities. Like it's so much that goes into a business, which is why sometimes I feel like prices are so high within businesses, because at the end of the day you have to think about like, we have stuff to pay, you know, and at the end of the day, it kind of just depends on like the service you want to go for too at the end, you know.
And so, do you charge depending on how many dances they do, or is it just like, this is my package?
We do packages, do packages, and then we have a la carte. So a la cartes, like a la carte, like a la carte, like on the side.
Pop quiz.
On the side. So like if you're like, oh, I don't really want a big package, I kind of just want like one dance on the side, then you can go with a la carte options. So point is, I opened up that studio in January. The whole month of December we moved over, and now what AC15 is we're a dance academy. So we have our quinceañera side, and then we have our dance side. So we have like quinceañeras, weddings, 316s. We teach like waltz and surprise dances. We do music editing, father-daughter dance, mother-daughter dance, and then we have chambelán rentals, which is our AC boys.
And we're gonna get into that, because a lot of people, I remember when Alfredo started posting, like, because everyone knows that my family is close to Alfredo, my sister, whatnot. People be like, "What is AC15 boys? Like, what is your friend like doing?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I wish I had that when I was in my quince. It was hard to be like, go up to people and be like, "Hey guys,
can you be my quince?
Like, I need 4 more boys."
Yeah, and then it's awkward when they come to your house and you don't talk to them and everything.
And like you just know him from like one class.
Yeah, from math, he's in my algebra class.
And I'm like, I bring out my album right now. I don't talk to this guy. But I would have been cool, because at least like I knew like, oh, I rented them. But so essentially that's what they are. They're chambelanes.
They're chambelán rentals. And then now we have our dance side, which is, for example, like we offer public drop-in classes. So we have wapango, hip hop, cumbia, huepa, tribal, ballet combo classes. We're opening up a jazz tech class. And then now on the side, now we have a comp team. So we do have girls that are competing with us now, kind of just growing that. And then eventually next season, what we want to do is little insider here, little sneak peek.
Reporting news.
Yes, reporting news, urgent, breaking news. Our AC Boy Chambelán rental team is going to transition over into a comp team, an all-male hip-hop comp team.
That's cool.
So, for example, once you're on AC Boys, you have the opportunity to audition onto the comp team and then compete with the girls that are doing solos and duos and all of that. So,
and how many AC15 boys do you have at the moment?
Right now we have 16. So 16 AC boys, and how we get them and stuff like that. At first it kind of just would be like we would scout, hey, you're a really good dancer, you want to be on our team. But then obviously we grew so much, our reputation grew, and we're like, no, like it should be a an honor to be on the team. So we do interview process, we do audition process. So the boys come in, any boy who wants to be on the team can come in. They audition with 3 dances. We teach them the dances. They perform it in front of a panel of judges. And then we get our selects, and then we put them into an interview process with the background check and kind of just check out what they're doing. They go into a 3-month probation process where it's their training, they're doing interviews, they're doing all this and that. And then they get promoted to be in quinces, and then if they do really well in quinces, then they become brand ambassadors for our team. And then that's when they do like photo shoots, video shoots, campaigns, and then all of this and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's a whole process.
I didn't know that. I just thought like they applied and then they're like, okay.
Yeah.
So because you have AC15 boys, do you also have AC15 girls for them?
Okay. So everyone always asks me. What is the tea on that? Yes, everyone's asking me like, why don't you have AC girls? The reason why is because if you really think about it, we usually never get a client that says, hey, I don't have friends, I don't have girlfriends. You know, it's always like, I need boys, you know? So we don't have that, and also I like to save myself and take care of my peace from drama. So yeah, no thank you. I'm not saying girls are dramatic, but I just don't think business-wise, I don't think the service is there for the girls, but that's why we have like our AC Queen brand ambassadoring team now. So for example, these are girls that are our models and strictly only for AC. They do our campaigns. When we do expos performances, they're the ones that represent the quinceañera vision of the company, you know? And those girls are on the comp team performing for us and competing with us now.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And these are girls that left their dance studios to come train with me, so.
Oh. I'm like, the quinceañera world has obviously like gone crazy.
Yes,
it has gone big. And I asked him this, and I'm bringing this up because obviously he works with a lot of quinceañera stuff. I have seen a huge involvement. I had mine back in 2014.
Oh my god, really? 2014?
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh my god.
Is that a bad reaction?
No. That's crazy. Well, I think Jalissa was a long time ago. Because I remember that one.
Mijo, you weren't at mine.
I
sorry.
know. Sorry, I didn't get invited.
Jalissa had no friends at my kid. I'm kidding. But from 2014 when I started mine, I remember like I wanted a simple one. I didn't want because I was going to all these quinceañeras and it was like major lights, like big dresses, like big, and cutouts of themselves and this, and I was just like.
Well, you know what? You know what triggered that? The pandemic. Because before the pandemic, everything was so simple, so cute. And Jalissa's was very, very calm. And I remember everything being so calm, dresses really pretty, and nothing too crazy on the hairstyle and stuff like that. After the pandemic, that's when vendors like us started saying like, well, we lost so much money within the pandemic. What can we do to build our businesses more and regain what we lost in the pandemic? True. So I think that's when everything kind of just went up in pricing, of course, like life in general. But then that's when a lot of quinceañeras started getting inspired with Texas. Texas is known for everything is big.
The bigger closer to God.
So a lot of girls now want to be divas. They're like, oh, I want a diva hairstyle. I want to do this and stuff like that, right? So then they get inspired with Texas hairstyles and themes, and they bring that over to Cali.
I've seen some stuff because one of our like close friends, they're going through their quinceañera right now. She was telling me the prices. I remember I went in. I wanted a simple dress because I was like very vintage of me. I was very old Hollywood.
Oh my god, yes, period.
Yes,
I love
my quinceañera was old Hollywood theme. I said we're gonna keep it demure.
Very true,
yes, I had banda. Yes, I did, but I wanted simple hairstyle. I was like, I didn't want big. I didn't want light.
What color was your dress?
It was light pink.
Baby pink blush.
Baby pink.
Yours was sage. Yeah.
And my vals was to the sounds of music. My favorite things. The instrumental.
The do re mi fa sol la si do?
No, these are a few of my
favorite things. Yeah, okay.
And then I did a little Candyman by Christina Aguilera.
Okay, that song's still popping. It's still popping sometimes,
We're still going strong.
Yeah.
And then we did Diamonds, our girl's best friend. With all my damas. And then I'm going to quinceañeras and I'm like, geez, like
what is this bad
I'm like, what is this going on? Like, why are these dresses are humongous? Yes. But I love it because I think it's so cool.
To see the
evolvement. And even the dances. Like, I've been seeing the things he's whipping out and I'm like, my poor court couldn't even keep up with like a side step.
Yeah.
But also I wanted to ask, like, what, because you're an owner at 18, and I mean it's not rare. A lot of us are starting small businesses. But at the time that you started, it was very like no one in our like because we're in the same generation. No one in our generation had started something so that grew quickly like his business.
Yeah.
So what to you were like one of like your favorite moment? And when was like probably like the hardest moment?
Your favorite moment with all of this has to be the experience I've learned and what I've gotten from it. Because it's one thing to kind of just be a choreographer, do everything, meet people, you know, it's like, it gets repetitive. It honestly does get repetitive, but you have to find the meaning in each different client and a good, like, the story in each thing you're doing. So I think my most favorite memory is kind of just like, not giving up and kind of just being like opening up to meeting people and opening up to like taking in these new experiences, and then what comes with all of that, like these podcasts, like these interviews, like these newspapers, like all of this that is highlighting me, because then at the end of the day I look back and I'm like, wow, like, because you know I really cared about my people, because I really pushed myself out there, because I didn't care about what people were gonna say. This is what I'm doing now, you know, and that's my favorite part. Hardest part, honestly, it's kind of just like not, it all comes back to mental health, because you can be such an outgoing person and you can, you know, take in so much, but then when you start seeing people beat up your, like, what you love most, like, you know, your baby, which is your business, or your reputation, or, you know, people start talking smack about you and stuff like that, it's kind of really hard to kind of, like, not let that get to you. For example, like doing social media and stuff like that, it's like, paying attention to like your drive and your passion, not how people are reacting to that. Because one bad comment, like you look at it and obviously it's gonna make you feel a certain type of way. You know, you're gonna be like, oh, like, you know, this person said this, you know. So it's kind of like, I think that's like the hardest and like, yeah, the hardest part, kind of just like when you get hated on, you know, because I'm just like, I'm just a 21-year-old.
No hate.
Yeah. And people are so cruel. People are so cruel, and...
But haters are your motivators.
100%. 100%. Like I said, it's like I can post a video, and if it doesn't get as many likes, but it got a ton of views, it's like people are literally watching me. Like, keep watching me, girl. I'm getting paid for those views. Anyways, so yeah, I think that's the hardest part, and kind of just like staying motivated throughout that whole time, because I will share that last year I went through a very hard time with that, because it was like I pour so much into everything that I do, and I pour so much for like those that watch us, but then there's this group of people that come in and kind of just like, you know, like hate on you and kind of like say all these hateful words towards you, but like they don't know what we're really going through, you know? At the end of the day, people that put themselves out there, like yourself, like, you know, people that put themselves out there on camera, like, this isn't our life. Like, this is only like 10% of our life. Like, we have so much more after that. And I feel like people don't understand that as much, and I feel like people should, because we're not robots. We're literally human beings, and I think that's the hardest part. Kind of just being motivated throughout that whole part.
Thank you. Those are really good words. Wow, who would have thunk it? Like, who would have thunk it? I didn't even know. Wow.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Thank you. Yeah. So I think, I mean, a piece of advice for everyone that wants to do YouTube, or people always ask me like, what's a piece of advice for me to do YouTube? What's a piece of advice for me to be on camera and stuff like that?
Yes, you're on a reality show.
Yes, I do have a reality show.
Yes. I'm like, yes, that's why he's so good at this.
Yeah, I have 4 seasons of a reality show. I started that 2 years ago.
Kimberly Kardashian.
Honestly, even going into that, I was kind of like holding back a bit when I first started. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to be this perfect person on camera. Like, I would sit back and hold back during my interviews, during filming. I would just be like, sit up tall, you know?
And you know what? I agree with that, because, like, for those who do know me, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm very, like, crazy. I would say I do have, like, a very extrovert personality. And my uncle, literally the other day, he was like, shout out Marco, because he told me this, and, like, I had to knock myself out. He's like, dude, like, I know it's you, but you're like trying to be like too like professional. He's like, I know you have so much more. Like, stop holding back. And I was like, it's because it's hard. Like, I'm like, nobody else knows me.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part, because when I started doing the show too, I wanted to be likable. I wanted people to like me. I wanted people to watch me. You know. But at the end of the day, then I thought about it. I was like, honestly, if people are watching me, it's because they want to watch me. They don't want to watch the person who's trying to be on camera. You know. And then, well, like 4 seasons in, like maybe like 2 seasons after, that's when I kind of like not stopped caring, but I was like I don't want to say like I wouldn't get ready to like be on camera, but I was kind of just like, all right, like let's film, like put a camera on. Like, I kind of just,
because I think it's like an adjustment that you have to do, because I had to do 2 to be like, okay, for the third one, and honestly, after like my uncles and my aunts were like, we think you should just be yourself, and I was like, okay, like I am gonna be myself, but like, I feel like we're being like, you know, this is me.
Exactly. So I think my biggest advice is kind of just like, don't pretend to be someone you're not, because then you're growing into a character that you aren't, and then yourself is not even gonna like that character, you know, and then you're not gonna have the motivation or energy to be that person that you were trying to be on camera when you film.
Because even when I'm editing, I'm like, ew, that's
this is
cringy. That's not me. This is not me. But no, thank you so much for the words, and thank you for even coming here.
No, thanks for having me.
No, of course.
Like, Julissa, I'm going to your house.
I'm like, Julissa, she's working hard. But before we wrap up, I do want to bring light again to AC15, because you have so much going. So you mentioned that you have the drop-in classes. Is there any ages for that, or is it just like...
Right now we have classes 4 to 6, 6 to 8, and 10 and up. So it kind of just depends during the week. Like, if you're looking for advanced classes, it's usually weekdays. If you're looking for drop-in classes for ages 4 to 6, 6 to 8, it is on Saturdays. So we are hoping to add a lot more classes. I'm kind of just in that weird transition where, like, what business do I want to focus on right now? And I think that's the hardest part too. Like, now I'm running 2 businesses, like 2 branches of business, and still filming and doing college and doing all this. And so I think that's the hardest part with balancing everything. But as far as AC, I think there's a lot more classes coming, a lot more structure coming. I just want to be on top. I just want my studio to be
Kris Jenner
on top.
He's coming for you. Ooh. Okay, but before we end, I want to play a little game with Alfredo.
Okay, perfect.
And we're going to play yay or nay. And because I know so many people struggle with vals songs, so this is going to be, it's just a random Spotify list that I found. I'm going to mention the song, and you're going to give me yay or nay for the vals. Okay, Vals del Amor, Juan Sebastián. You don't know that song.
I do. No, I do. Yay. I like it. It's cute.
Okay. Tiempo de vals.
Nay. Nay.
I don't know if this is considered a vals song. I feel like this is more a dad and daughter dance. But I'm just still gonna say Tu sangre mi cuerpo.
Yay.
Okay.
It's chill.
Oh, this is one of my favorite ones. Vals de las mariposas.
Nay.
Some of these songs. Oh, okay, let's jump over here. 1,000 Years.
You know what? It depends. It depends if I've taught it 4 times already before this previous client, or if I haven't taught it in a while. So since I haven't taught it in a while, I'd go back for Yay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of Me.
Oh, John Legend?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! I haven't done that one for a while.
Really?
Yeah, I did it for a comp dance, but
okay.
Not a waltz.
Oh, this is another one of my favorites. Young and Beautiful.
Nay.
Oh.
It is so popular right now.
Hey, in this house we support Lana Del Rey.
Yes, we love Lana, but we love like the video games Lana, like.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm like, Hermoso Cariño? Is that even a vals?
It's more for like father-daughter dance or like grandparents.
Okay.
Grandparents. I would say Yay.
What is another one? Like Quinceañera? ¿Qué será?
You know, we don't use that one no more.
No?
We use it for formalities. So, for example, like when they're doing Corona Zapatillas Muñeca, when they're sitting down, we do that. Right now, what's kind of trending is the way I tell my clients.
Take notes, ladies.
Yeah, what's trending right now for quinceañera waltzes is like Lana Del Rey, of course. We have a lot of like Dad with a Smile right now. We're in the Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars era. Instrumental if you're going more formal. But now because everything has evolved so much, I always tell the quinceañeras, look at your favorite artists and look for music that of people they've collabed with, like featured and stuff like that. If you want to find different music, or it's always a question: how can I find unique music? And I always say Grey's Anatomy. I always say like shows that you like to watch, the soundtracks of those shows. You know.
You know, because that's what my mom told me too when I was planning my bus. She's like, whatever movie you like, whatever.
Yeah, the soundtracks.
Because I'm like, well, Sounds of Music was one of my favorite movies. I was like, I want them because it's like my becoming a girl.
Like,
But I want to say thank you so much, Alfredo, for being here
having me.
and taking time. It. And because I want to end it with Alfredo's infamous quote. And when you're watching at home and when you want to do something, don't forget.
El que quiere, puede. Yes.
Woo!
Thanks for having us, guys.
You.